Hello, hello, and welcome to one of today's episodes of Saddest Night Out. My name is Roy, and I am the host of this daily podcast, and it's primarily about music and creative culture in London. You can find me on most social media at Saddest Night Out, all as one word, and you can find this podcast on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and all good podcast platforms. My guest on this episode is Izzy, also known as Issytunes. I've spoken to her before on this podcast, but I can't remember which episode it was. It was recorded at a Nice bar, and it was an episode where I spoke to her and a few of the other performers at that night about gigs when things have gone wrong for them. So it wasn't really a chance to introduce her properly to you folks, my many million listeners out there. So that's what this episode is. We caught up, we grabbed some lunch together, we were just catching up. We headed back to Caffrey Studios, where I spend most of my time now, and we had ourselves a chat, and I thought this would be a good chance to really introduce her to the listeners of this podcast. So that's what you're going to get on this episode. She takes us right back to the beginning, when she first started music, when she came to London, and what she has her sights set on now. So this is me talking to Izzy, also known as Issytunes. Enjoy, and I'll catch up with you more afterwards. I am in Caffrey Studios. I think I've only ever recorded 2 other episodes here. So for my 3rd episode here, I have a guest I haven't had on the podcast for, I think, over a year at a venue that shall not be named. Would you kindly introduce yourself to the listeners?
Yes. Hello. I'm Izzy. But my music's name is Issytunes. So depending on where you know me and how you've been introduced to me as, that will be one of those too.
Izzy/Issytunes. When was it, as soon as you started making music, Issytunes was just the go-to name, or was there a story behind it?
There is no story. I literally fell into it, sort of stumbled into it by accident. What happened? I think it's just because I set up my stepdad pushed me, I owe him a lot of credit, into actually starting to play music live, and do it more, sort of take it more seriously, which meant setting up a Facebook page. But unfortunately, there are lots of Izzies in the world. I didn't know that.
Darn it.
So, yeah, exactly.
Should only be one.
Stole my name. With S's as well. I spell my name Issy. Everybody else apparently spells their name that too. I thought most people were like Izz, Izzi, you know.
So you're thinking, no one's thought of this, and damn it.
Yeah, exactly. So now I couldn't just take Izzy or Izzy Music. I tried a lot of stuff. So Issytunes is what it turned out to be, and I sort of stuck that as a label. Yeah. Which in my head was like, well, it's 3 letters extra than iTunes, so it could be a funky iTunes sort of thing.
I didn't think about that. No. There's layers to this.
Neither did I. I've decided to give it more personality than the actual story, which is that I needed something.
So you just thought of that now. I like it. I bought it.
No, I've been using that for ages. Right. But it was just when I decided it, literally was on stage, I went, iTunes. That's it. So
you said your stepdad, you owe him a lot of credit for getting you to play live. How long had you been making music before you started playing live?
Oh, a long time. I'd been writing songs and stuff for a long time. I only started playing or learning to play when I was like 14. My mum played bits on the kitchen table to us, and then I kind of picked up bits from her, and then I got a guitar teacher to teach me more around about 14, 15. But my first gig was when I was 16 at this place called the Barleycorn, which is a cool place. It's daunting as hell, because it's not an open mic. It's, you get up there, you sit on stage, people shut up and they listen to you. So it's not even a small place. There was like a good 50, 60 people there just staring at me, waiting for me to play my songs. Whoa. Like, who I'd never performed to before. So it's like, oh god.
So where is this place? Where was all this happening?
Cape Town, South Africa. And it's not far from where I used to live, which was a place called Rondebosch.
Born there, lived all your life before you came to London?
Yeah, pretty much. It's fun. I found the Cape Townian music vibe a lot more difficult, actually. Because there aren't open mics there, and if there are, I found them very hard to find. So everybody starts off. You have to get a gig.
Yeah.
And you may not get paid, but you do get a free beer like you do here. But you have to look for gigs. There are no open mics to go to. You get a gig, you suck or you do well, and then they call you back, and then you grow from there. I did a few. There was like a little place called like OBS, the Armchair, which was again not too far away from where I lived, in a kind of grungy area of town, which was a cool place. It's sort of similar to Camden. But yeah, so I played there a few times. And then from there, I got a couple of radio shows, and from there, it sort of started to build. And I got an email from my dad not too long ago saying that my music was still on the radio occasionally, which is like, that was a whole 6 years ago. Oh my God, that music's old. It's still there. So I made an impact somewhat.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Was making music a thing that most people did? Like at your age, you said you were like early teens when you first started making music. Other kids in class? Is anyone else making music, or is it just you're that girl in the class who...
Oh, well, naturally, sort of, you fall into crowds of people who do the same thing as you. So yes, I had musical friends. I met an amazing bassist through a non-musical friend, funnily enough.
Okay.
And obviously, through my guitar teacher, I met a couple of other people her stepsons are Charlie Chaplin's descendants, and they're called Lochinville, who everybody knows. And if you don't, check them out. They're cool, different music. They're not acousticy stuff that I do, but they're cool. But from them, I met them, and then it sort of goes from that. Of the people I went to school with, a few of them studied music, so they're a lot more sort of classical notation-y people.
Yeah.
Which are still very talented, but I know nothing about them.
So 16, you play your first proper gig. Your first gig is a proper gig, not an open mic kind of thing, an actual gig. How long were you there in that scene before you felt you needed to leave? Because I'm assuming you felt you weren't getting enough there, and what was London among the list of places to go, and that ended up being where you went to next? Is that how that worked out?
I don't know. No, my life is not that straightforward. No, it's literally my entire existence is going, oh, okay, we're doing that now. So stumble off down the wrong road, which happens
Keep
to be
on
an
stumbling.
alright one. Yeah, it seems to be going okay.
Yeah.
Occasional hiccups. But no, so I've forgotten the question. I'm so sorry. What?
How did you go from playing the music scene in Cape Town to coming here?
I don't know.
Well, when did you come to London?
It's a good 6 years ago, but the thing is that at that time, as much as I loved playing music, it wasn't something I was sure that I particularly wanted to make a career.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that I had to leave town anyway, because South Africa, I didn't really want to get stuck there, because it's far away from anything, and the currency is not that great. It's really hard to find work. And the fundamentals of living there are not easy at all.
Yeah.
Not that it's that easy anywhere else, but so
it was on the agenda to leave anyway.
It was on the agenda
not
to leave
necessarily
anyway.
for music.
Yeah. So I've been playing a few times there, but my family was like, if you go, you play music there, and I was like, I'm going, but I'm not sure I'm going to play music. But okay, fine, I'm going. Uh-huh. So I left. And then, because I wanted to get out anyway. So I left there at about 19. And then just did what I did back home, but here for a time, which was get a few gigs, play music, write occasionally, but mostly just get a job and sort of build some revenue.
Yeah.
So that I don't die.
Daunting, scary. You're leaving home at 19, flying quite a far distance across the world. But did none of that put you off anything? Were you just that intent on getting out?
It scared the shit out of me.
Yeah?
It always does.
Was there a
But I
moment
suppose, looking back on it, people, I get a lot of things like, man, that's really brave. It never feels so brave when you do it. It's just like, God. It's just scary. And then once you get used to being somewhere else. I mean, I knew people here. So I had that sort of landing ground. I wasn't going completely into the abyss.
That's good.
So no, it was So I was lucky on that front. But yeah, that being said, I managed to set up quite a lot on my own, which was cool. But it was still, I left pretty much all my immediate family back at home. So if being the middle child, being the first one to strike out, was like the one thing I was like, I'm one up on you, sister. That was cool. That was brilliant. So that
little sisters?
No, I've got you asked about my family. You know. Immediate family, I've got one older sister and one younger brother. There's a few siblings involved in that front though. So yeah, better.
Anyone else doing music or anything? Or are they all?
No, just me.
Just you. You're the musical one.
Well, no, my mother was musically inclined. She was good at it. She never pursued it as a sort of passion, but she played well. She sung well. She had that in her blood.
So I guess you inherited.
I imagine that's where I got it from. Yeah, otherwise I don't know where, because my entire family, there's no history of it anywhere else. Like, everybody could play bits of guitar, everybody could sing bits and pieces, but there's no evidence of anybody ever trying to have done anything with it. It's just like, oh yeah, I happen to be quite nice at it. Yeah, and that's all I've got. And now there's just me like, hey guys.
So 6 years ago, you come to London. When you arrive, music isn't at the forefront of your mind, but while you're here, you start doing what you're doing back there. Open mics, just any chance you can get to play? Yeah,
kind of. I mean, it never went away. It was always in my head that it's something I would like to do more seriously, but in terms of kind of going career, it wasn't like, we must do it now.
Yeah.
It was like, it would be cool. I'm kind of fine with doing everything else at the moment. So it's actually only in the last sort of 4 years or so that I suddenly went, right, we want to do something. And which was cool, because in that front, as soon as I did kind of get my head down and actually start doing stuff, so kind of missioning out and literally going to like 4 or 5 open mics a night, sometimes 2 in a night, which is exhausting, so you know.
Yeah.
But like forcing myself to talk to people, because I'm kind of the same as you. That's sort of kind of introverted, naturally introverted. An extroverted introvert.
Yes.
So you have your social moments where you're like, I love this, but then there's a moment where you're like, I'm done now. I want to go home.
Yeah, exactly.
So there was a lot of that, forcing yourself to talk to people, and that got me quite far. And so I've got the network of people, and that took me on to kind of going into little bits of radio stations, little bits of paid gigs, being featured on other people's quite substantial platforms, which was cool. And as well, result gave me the confidence to think that actually this is, I mean, there's no reason to think that I am better than everyone else, but I seem to have made an impact where people want to sort of promote me in some shape or form, which has gone, well, then I must be somewhat good at it.
Yeah.
So there is hope.
Yeah. So
that's sort of kept it going, and that's what keeps it going, which is like, this is definitely doable, especially when I talk to the people. I've got these people that are like yourself included, where it's like, you
big fans.
You're not well, no, not big fans, not in terms of just the fact that you're not exactly like making millions, but you're making it work.
Yeah.
And you've got plans to make it bigger, which is not far off from what I'd like to do. I've just yet to take that massive jump of going, okay, this is actually what we're going to do, because it's that also scares the hell out of me. Yeah. There's lots of scary things that keep happening, and it's all about growing, but it's like,
You're going to keep on stumbling. Let yourself stumble into it, so do it before you think about it.
Just skateboard our way into it. That'd be more fun, I think, but that's, yeah.
Yeah. So if everything went according to plan, what would you like your focus to be?
I'd like to be a performer because that's where I find myself feeling most free, if anything. Kind of, I've had a few moments which are incredible, actually. It's kind of like going surfing as well, when you find you make a really big drop off a wave. There's something incredibly exhilarating about that. You're like, I made it, yes!
Yeah.
And it's that, where it's, I've somehow managed to get lost in what I'm singing, how I'm singing it, and to who I'm singing it to. And I kind of react naturally to certain lyrics or to certain things. And that's really good. And then I kind of come out of that finish the song, and then there's a really good response at the end, and you're like,
nailed it.
I love that. I kind of dig that, and I do, as much as as hospitality fights this, I do quite like people. People are interesting, except when they're not.
True.
But yeah, so it's like being able to sort of gauge what's going on is fun as well.
So what do you have? So that's kind of the goal on the horizon.
Yeah.
What you want to work towards. But what do you have most recently in the pipeline? So there some things you've recently released, gigs you've had or have coming up, that kind of thing?
So I've had loads of gigs, bit of a quiet moment, but my next gig probably is on the 6th of October, to be confirmed in terms of venue, but it's going to be in Camden, and it's going to be about 40-minute set or so.
Great.
So that I'll have all those details come out on a mailing list, which I now have.
Woo!
We've spoken before, and I didn't have any of these things, but now I've got a mailing list, which is.
Does that mean there's a website as well?
There's a website as well, which is just issytunes.blog. The mailing list link is there. Otherwise, I occasionally post it on Twitter, so you can follow me there.
At Issytunes?
At Issytunes.
It's a catchy name. It works.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, well, it's easy to kind of try and give some new name. Everybody's bad at names, but just give it a slot one. That's cool.
So you're more focused on performing live than recording at the moment?
That being said, no, I'm currently recording a lot of stuff.
Okay.
So I've got lots of stuff going on, lots of ideas. Yeah. So there's a single song that is currently in the works, and I sent out the last mailing. I sent out a sample of that, and it's so cool. I'm so excited. So yeah, that's one reason to join the fan club. Oh, there's YouTube as well, in which case I give ideas, because there's a concept album I have an idea of as well, which I'm trying to write, which the song is somewhat a part of.
Okay.
So, and which I ask people for ideas on and tips on and stuff as well. So, to be a part of that, there's that. So I'm trying to get people involved in what I'm doing as well, because I think that's a good idea. Instead of just going me, it's kind of like we.
Exactly.
More fun. People want to be a part of it, want to listen to you more if they know that they get contributed to it. So contribute. Otherwise, what are you doing here?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of ideas, a lot of ambition.
Yeah. So it's. The recording thing is in my control. So, and also it's very kindly being done with this guy called Andy Hepburn, Andy Yee, otherwise online. And he's trying to learn and do stuff himself, so he's kindly doing it for free, with lots of just being really cool about the fact that he's very creative and open-minded. So it's like there's lots of time to work on a song as opposed to 3, in which you've got 3 days to record 3 songs and get as much in it as possible, in which case it's not as great.
Yeah.
This song I've been doing for like 3 weeks, and it's just getting better and better and better, but I probably should stop adding stuff to it, otherwise it's going to be no song, and just stuff.
A whole bunch of stuff on top, yeah.
Yeah. So, but the thing, so that's happening. So that's actually, I can do that. And so that's definitely coming out with a lot of effort, and a lot of work, and exciting.
When was the last time you put something out there? Because I think the last time we spoke, I think you had a CD that you were giving out?
Yeah, so I've still got that little EP that I'm putting out. It's called Out the Sea, which is, that music's online as well. Not to the same extent, but it's there. But that was a good 2-3 years ago. So more music coming. Yeah.
Feeling about ready for that next batch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Better batch even, because there's actually music that I want it to be, and it's going to be made how I want it to be made, and I've got the time to make it. So it might be better.
It will be better. You heard it here first. And now we know all the places we can find that music. And Issytunes, we've said it about 50 times in this episode, so it's going to be stuck in everybody's head. Issytunes is where to find you. Thank you very much for talking to me.
Thank
you. I look forward to that new music and the next performances.
You too. Thanks.
And that was that. Thank you very much, Izzy, for your time, for talking to me. I'm glad I could finally give you the episode that you have very much deserved for a while now. For anyone who doesn't recognize the name Issytunes, She played the third show that I put on at Road Trip and the Workshop. She was part of the lineup for Saddest Night Out Live #3. So now you can get to know her a little bit more. And as she mentioned in the episode, Issytunes is where you can find her on pretty much all social media. And I'll put some links to where you can find her and her music in the notes for this episode. She's such a talented and promising musician, and it's always great to have her on one of our open mic lineups. I'm always in awe of people who decide to leave behind all they know to come to London, and I can very much be guilty of taking London for granted. For me, it can just be exhausting, expensive, always on the district line, etc., etc. But for some people, it is the goal that they've been wanting to achieve for the longest time. I've got to get to London. To come at such a young age by yourself and then to stick it out this long. I'm really happy that I could be a part of what it is that she's achieved while she's here, and I look forward to being, hopefully, part of what she has yet to achieve in the future. And thank you all very much for listening. I had this talk with her on, I am all fingers and thumbs as far as days of the week, etc. Tuesday 23rd is when I spoke to her. Today is Wednesday 24th. And I am going to see Fur play at Scala. The last time I saw them play, they were supporting sports team at Scala, and now they are headlining. But it means I've got about 10 minutes to record intros and outros to the 3 episodes I want to put up today. So please bear with me if I'm a little bit briefer than normal, but I will put up all the links, etc. that I can in the notes for each of these episodes. But that's all for this one. Thank you very much for listening. Once again, you can find me online at Saddest Night Out on most social media, or you can email me saddestnightout@gmail.com. And do be sure to check out Issytunes, because by now you definitely know how to find her online. Issytunes, Issytunes. Thank you all for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.